Good afternoon, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining for the first time. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Market Chameleon After Hours show. Before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Be aware that neither Market Chameleon, myself, Ryan, OptionsRobot are registered investment advisors or a broker-dealer. If you're searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This show, as all our shows and webinars, are for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. With that, one last look at the disclaimer, and we'll welcome Ryan Mastro to the show. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Great. Thanks for joining us today and bringing some information about OptionsRobot and maybe a little look at some different trade ideas you may be seeing in the marketplace today. Do you want me to share your screen?
Sure, it's great. Yeah. So, I love the product you have, and I'm sure most of your guys in here are Market Chameleon fans and using your product for a long time here because it's so great. Just a little bit about myself, real quick, is I used to trade with you on the floor way back when.
On the PHLX.
Yeah,
Yes.
back on the PHLX here. So we go way back, but so I've been a professional trader for a long time, and I do several newsletters and technology packages. So one of them is OptionsRobot, and this is the one that we were looking at today to kind of highlight and show some of the ideas and how we use technology analytics like your product and try to find ideas and then kind of marry that up with how you would trade them. So this is maybe a little bit different for some people, but I think what we want to talk about a little bit real quick is what's going on in the market. Obviously, it's a very good market, right? In terms of everything's been up and doing really well. And I think the one thing we were looking at this week is we got a CPI, PPI. We had Trump talking about some tariffs. We have earnings coming up, right? Big banks coming out tomorrow. I typically shy away from earnings just because there's so many wild cards, right? You gotta, depending on what kind of stock you're looking at, that you always have to beat something, some type of number, some type of whisper number, some type of projection, whatever, subscriber base. So and then you got to beat implied volatility when it's cranked up. So I typically shy away from those, but it tends to make the market a little bit more volatile, a little bit more poised for bigger moves, right? You get one big stock that makes a big move. So, that's all great. So, a couple of things that when I look at for ideas, I come into your service and, come into Market Chameleon. One of the big things is the unusual options activity, right? So this to me is a very big deal when you can find opportunities that not only do we have bigger volume, but in terms of combine that with a stock that's actually breaking out. To me, that is just a home run ball. You look at something like IBIT. Last couple of days, we've had unbelievable movement in there. If you go over to the chart on that, so we can just go down into the chart right here, and you can see, and let's go to a daily, so we can see that this has had pretty good movement over the past couple of days. And this is because it's related to Bitcoin, right? This is the number one, I would say the largest ETF for the IBIT. And it's become a pretty liquid trader. So this could be one you look at. You could look at any number of those names when you come back to this list. Silver pulled back a little bit today. Mara, Riot, those are both miners and have done very well. Vime's pretty good in those as well. They had a little bit of a pullback today.
Miners, they're Bitcoin miners, right?
Bitcoin miners, yep. So the Ethereum ETF, I like this one a lot as well. And I'll show you on a chart. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it all the way, but let's look at a chart here and look at like maybe a 6 month on the chart. So if you look in here, we do have a gap that's back over in here. I'm going to show this one in OptionsRobot, do it a little bit more in terms of the charting here. So I'm going to come over ETH, and I think that was an A that was in there. So let's put an A, and let's see if we have that history. There we go. So we'll pull that up, and you can see there's a big gap over here. So if we look at that gap, and just to zoom in a little bit, you can see the big gap from here going down. This is the exact same chart as Ethereum. It's virtually almost the exact same thing. So you look at this big gap. Now we've had a little bit of a run, starting to get a little bit exciting, a lot of volume in here. So this looks very, very interesting. So if I were to play this, I would be looking at the options, and just to kind of, we don't have any earnings in this. So you can go over to the option chains and we can type in our Ethereum, ETHA. So let's do that. I haven't looked at this one at all. So ETHA, this is our front month. Depending on your time frame, I tend to give myself a little bit of time for something to move, especially when I have cheap options. So a cheap option in here to me is if I can play something that is kind of poised for big movement and I have some bigger potential. So if I can, obviously we could look at implied volatility and say, well, where's our implied vol? It's a little bit high, right? In terms of just overall as an implied volatility, you have to compare it to itself, right? In terms of the grand scheme of things. But just taking all that out of the context, and let's just look at it and say as a straight buy, if we want to go out a week, let's say I wanted to consider jumping into something like this. Well, I would consider this, but I would say, let's go out a week to the 725 expiration. But what I would probably use is an entry bot. So if I go over an entry bot and say an ETHA, and I say I want to use the high of the day. So if I do greater than, and I can say the high of the day is 23.27. So if I get above that level, I would look to say I'm going to buy an option. Let's just say we're going to do the at the monies, 22.50s. Maybe we want to do, let's do the 23.50s. We'll go slightly out of the monies on those. And then I would do for me, with this system, I have the ability to do a price slice. So if I want to do a quick or a slow, I can start at the mid market of whatever's going on, and I can price.
Hold on real quick. Just so I understand, I'm seeing this for the first time. That's referred to as a price slice?
Yeah, so what it does is it takes the bid-ask spread, and it will divvy up the bid-ask spread into slices. So I can say,
all right,
I'm going to say every 5 seconds, and I'll do it like this is a little bit tighter. So I'll do every 5 slices, or every slice the bid-ask spread, actually the mid to the offer, and say I want to slice this. This is just a way to get the best price. So if there's anybody that's coming in and it looks like I can get it for a cheaper price, I'm going to put it in here. So it'll work its way up to the offer, all the way taking out the offer. So I'll hit create on that. And what OptionRobot does immediately after is give you the ability to create your own template or use a customized template that I've already created. So something like this one here is going to roll my options every $3. Now, it's a $22 stock, so it may not get that much love. I'm going to use something like this one. I'm going to roll it up 1 by 2, and then, excuse me, for the next one, if it moves up another $2, then I'll exit. So the beautiful thing about this would take me a lot of time to transact or to set up if I were to do it by hand. But if I just do it through a template, and I can set these 10 templates up to be every dollar, every 50 cents from rolls, or I can do any one of these other ones that are already there as a default. But if I do this one, it's basically there. I have my trades in. Now I don't even have the position yet, right? But what I set up was a virtual position. So if it does break out, and I know what I want to do. So it really gives me a leg up compared to where I would normally be. This is great for guys that don't have to, sit at their desk or can't sit at their desk, right? Because this is going to get you into the trade and trade it for you and work your way out if that's something you like to do. If you want to be active and you have a lot of positions, this is a great thing to use because you can have the bots manage it for you. So that's a great little system in terms of, so what it's going to do is if I do trigger and I get into these 23.50s, it's going to roll up. If the stock goes up by $2, I'm going to roll up to the 25.50s or the closest one to the at the monies. And then if it rolls up or the stock goes up another $2, I would exit the trade. So I'd get a good roll in, lock my profits in for $2. And then if I roll up or if the stock moves up another $2, I would get out of the trade. And again, I can set these to be different where if I want to edit these, all I have to do is go in and edit and I can change this. So let's say I wanted to use my like a quick strategy to work my way out of it, then I can work my way out. It would be, obviously I'd be selling or basically playing the mid market, and I can mess around with that. Right now, I'm just going to leave it at the midpoint and let it sit there. So we're going to start there, and that would be basically a good intro into how we manage the trades here, and we can manage so many trades because the bots do all the work. So another example, let's come back to, maybe we'll come over to our stock screener here. And this is just your basic stock screeners. I'll just click on it again so you guys can see how I got there. Just to come down into stock screeners. And again, this is pulling up very big volume. And I think when you start to look at the big names, now, a lot of these are going to be coming out with earnings. NVIDIA, not so much, but Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Taiwan Semi's coming out this week. So some of these you may want to shy away from, or you may want to play something like a Google. I like Google a lot. I think on the chart, it looks very, very interesting. So if I come back in here, go to the charts, you can see on a slightly longer term, you can see we've had a great trend. You're sitting up near the highs of breaking out here. So if I bring that up in terms of our options robot, let me come over to the chart there and just do a little bit more. So if I come over and look at Google, and we do Google, you can see, again, that similar type of chart, maybe a little bit more dialed in on the candles. You can see that we're really close to breaking out. We've had the highest close out of all of this action. It's a nice cup and handle in terms of the pattern. So I do believe that this, again, next couple of days could be very, very interesting. So maybe you want to use something like the high of the day there. That high is 183.66. So if I come over to an entry bot, I can come over to Google and say I want to enter a greater than 183.66 and say I want to add, I'm just going to add one for the at the money. So buy, let's see, I'm going to use, I guess we can use the 182s. They'll be slightly in the money at the time. And I'll do the same thing. Maybe I want to be a little more aggressive with this one. I'm going to use only 3 seconds, maybe go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. So a price slice here would be like 5 slices, start at the mid, and I only want to have three seconds in between there. So again, a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive. So I hit that create button. Again, because this moves a little bit more per day, maybe I want to give it a little bit more of a run. So I'll say every $3 I roll up my options, and then I'll click apply. So real quick, just like that, my trades are not only created virtually, but I also have the group that's already set up. My trades are out there and set up by the template. And again, you can create your own templates. Now, there's other templates in here. If you want to worry about stops or anything like that, you can say, let's say I'm just going to cancel all of these. So it makes it a nice little thing. And I can just say, I want to do a different one. So I can add in one with stops in here. So if I wanted to add all of those, and you can see how that will look. We can preview a group. So if it's a one or the other. So if it goes up by 20%, excuse me, I would roll. But if it goes down, I'm out of the trade, right? And that's going to happen for pretty much every one of those. So I could keep that template in there for something like that. You can also view it over here, see a little bit easier. So I can see all the nested trades after that and as they continue to roll. So these are all trades that were put in literally at the click of one mouse. Imagine having to put all those trades in. One, technically, you can't do that through a regular broker. They're not going to allow you to create these nested trades. But because we run it through OptionsRobot, we're going to connect to your broker for you, right? That's one of the things we do. You connect. Right now, we're connected through Schwab, Tradier, and Alpaca. We're going to be connected to Interactive Brokers, Tasty Trade, and TradeStation coming up. So we're in the works with all of those. But all you have to do is connect your options robot to your broker, and you can send your trades right through in terms of the action in here. So the idea is that you don't have to sit there at your desk and do all this heavy lifting. You let the bots do the work for you. So again, I think there's a couple other things I would talk about real quick in terms of what we've been able to do. A lot of people get concerned that I have bots. Now, for a lot of people, you don't even think about automation. But when you start to think about, I have this automation set out here in kind of the cloud, you have to be aware that, okay, the market moves fast. Something like news may hit. Trump may come out with a tape bomb and more tariffs, and you're a little bit nervous, or may come out with some really good news in one of these stocks. One thing we've created is the pause button. And I love it because it takes the automation allows you to trade without having to have the automation get in the way. So if you do get nervous, you can come over into your positions and click pause. I can go back and that would just automatically freeze all my bots if I'm inside of a position, or if I'm just looking at some of my ideas and I have automation in here. So if let's say I want to show it listed here, I can come in and pause any one of these at any given time for whatever's live. So at any point I feel nervous, all I have to do is click this pause button and I'm paused, right?
So
And I
it
can
so
resume.
it doesn't take the trade off if you have anything on.
If you have something live, it wouldn't take the trade off. It would just pause the automations. So
It
again,
would pause any automation. So if you had a stop in, if you
it would
paused
pause
all,
it.
it would pause everything that's sitting in the
It would
market.
pause everything that's sitting in there and running, right? So I can choose to pause all of my positions, or I can choose to pause just that one position. I can go in live and manage that position. So like Google's, we have in here. This one I think was canceled earlier. We had looked at that earlier and made one, but this one, if I wanted to just pause all of those, I could do that. Where if I wanted to come and just pause my stop, I could do that specific one, right? So there's all different nuances to trading. Obviously, get into that side of it. Now, obviously, you can do your manual execution. So if I wanted to get out of these trades and say just cancel and cancel, that gets me out of all that. I can come over once I'm in a position. I just say manual execution, and it'll work me. It automatically knows you're in a position. So it would give you the offer, like if I'm in something and I want to get out, it's going to know that I want to get out of that. So we're just using smart ways to do execution. Obviously, if you want to look at risk management, you could do that through here. If I'm in a long call, I can look at my risk management, change around some of the ideas and the risk associated with that. I can look at any of the events. Every event, anything gets triggered, it's going to let you know. You're going to get a message on it. You get all your orders that come through, obviously, once it's live, and you can see your position history, trades, and all that stuff through your position history there. So, these are just the things of walking through. Now, what we do have in here is a trade ideas area. Now, if I wanted to set up, let's say, that Google position, and I want to share that with you guys, which I can do. So anybody that wants to come in and watch these ideas, connect them to your own, I can simply slide this. What I'll do is create that management bot I had originally set up. I want to do the recommended one and do this real quick. So you can see how fast that is for me to set up this trade and have it there. So what I'll do, you guys don't have the ability to do it, but I can share this trade with you. So now all you have to do is come in to look at, and if you guys want to copy it, all you have to do is come in and click copy, right? And this will be automatically pushed with the same entry bot, with the same executions in here, pushed to your broker, right? So that is, again, just the quickness that we can take the idea to your own brokerage account without you having to do a lot of work. So if you like the ideas, you can come in and copy those. And again, we're going to be adding, anything we talk about here today, we're going to be adding into the trade idea log here so you guys can copy those. So we had talked about that ETH. We have an ETHE. I didn't share the ETHA, so I can share that one as well. So I can just come over and I'll share that idea as well, so you guys can come in and grab those. So that's live now. Anybody that wants to come in Will, what I'll do is I'll share these links, so anybody that wants to come in, they can come in and view the idea as well without having to sign up and log in. They can come and view it for, I think, 5 minutes if they want to look at it and look at the system a little bit more. So that's something we can share. Let's go back and look at a couple more.
Yeah, we did just while we were on that topic. George A. just had a question about this service, and this isn't a Market Chameleon service, so this isn't part of our subscription. OptionsRobot is Ryan's business,
Yep.
and it's something that I think is a great product, and Ryan's always been good with us, and we've done things before in the past. So this is just, and he is a wealth of information, so I thought it was interesting to bring on. This is something a Market Chameleon customer could certainly use. and we may at some point try to help promote it more. But more than anything, it's something you just go to OptionsRobot.com, correct,
Yep.
Ryan?
Yep.
You
Yeah.
register. There's and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, with any of this. You can set up an account by linking your brokerage account to it. The fee is on the trade, right? It's like, I mean, Ryan and I were both on the floor. What I'm amazed is this is like calling up your broker 20 years ago on the floor if you were a hedge fund manager and letting them know what you wanted to do for a trade, and they went into the crowd and worked it for you, right? This is like
Pretty much.
for for us, for the people who trade their own money, this is now an option for you to do it yourself and for it to operate while you're doing, whatever your day job is, if it isn't watching the screens 24/7. So it's a great tool that Ryan's created here. And so we're just going to try to do something every week where Ryan's going to show us some of his ideas, show you how he works through this. At some point, we may try to help incorporate it into Market Chameleon where you can click on the trade cards or something, but that would be a way off. But this is something that he has created, and it sounds like he's going to be linked to just about every brokerage firm at some
That's the
point.
goal. Yeah. I mean, our obviously your group of subscribers may be a little bit different from, I have other services, newsletters and stuff, but those services, we found a lot of in terms of the amount of people, we want to help out the max amount of people possible as quick as possible. So we basically hook to Schwab, which seems to be one of the bigger brands out there. So, and that seemed to be one of the more difficult ones. So we've been slowly working on the other ones as we perfected Schwab, Tradier, and Alpaca. We're connected to all those already. So they give, again, every broker is going to be a little bit different. If you have the brokerage, great. If you don't, you want to create an account there, you can. Or if you want to wait till the next one, that's great too. We do have a paper trading account, so you can use paper trading if you want to come and test things out. There is a monthly fee. So I want to correct you on that. There is a small monthly fee. But what I'd like to do for your subscribers is if anybody does want to subscribe and they really want to use this actively, I'm going to give a discount, a 50% discount on our product for the pro level service. You can go in and it's 50% off. So if you do subscribe, what happens is you'll come to the landing page. You just put your information in, and then it'll walk you through which package you want. I would click pro, and you can only use it once. But what I would say is if you really want to test it, you could use the paper trading, right? There's a 14-day free trial on that. And if you like the pro, you can always upgrade while you're in that trial. You can upgrade. And I would click the annual, right? Because you can only use the coupon once. But the coupon is really easy. It's just Chameleon, right? Make it really, really simple. So you get 50% off for any Chameleon subscriber that's watching this. And to come in and use the product. So I just want to make it a good deal for everyone that's joining as your subscriber. Have me on, and I appreciate it. So you want to walk through another idea?
Yeah, let's do one more idea. We're about 8 minutes from 5. So
Okay.
We'll take the last 8 minutes. Let's do one more idea.
You know what? Let's just pick the biggest name here, NVIDIA. This has got to be on everybody's radar. It's been hot, right? This is one, if you look at this thing and the volume that's been trading every day, it's just been absolutely insane. So I don't know if it's at the top of the list today, but it's definitely been up there in terms of the past couple of days. You can see we got some really big volume coming in with some of these names, but I like NVIDIA. We don't have earnings in that right in the way. So if we come back over to our options robot, and let's just look at the chart on that one a little bit closer in terms of NVIDIA. So, and again, I will share this idea, NVDA, and you can see how awesome NVIDIA has been on the chart. Let's just move back a little bit, and you can see we're sitting at all-time high. So I don't want to get involved in something that, we're just going to kind of sit here and, we're where it does roll over. So I'd want to have some type of a trigger. So I'm going to go back to my entry bot and use something like the high. That high there, let me just check the high. So real quick, the high is 167.89. It's a little far away. We're currently trading, we're closed at 164. So it's a couple dollars away. But again, I think we take out the high. That gives you a pretty good, maybe even the high of today. Let's use that, 165.49. So it's not as far away. So let's go over to our entry bot, and we'll do entry bot. in NVIDIA, and we'll say greater than 165.49. And we're going to add options on this. Again, you can do whatever size you want, but we're going to say, since it's trading, we'll use the 165 at the monies. And let's just do we'll do a quick with this. Actually, you could probably, I think these options are really tight, so let's leave that as quick. We're going to do 5 price slices, start at the mid, work our way towards the offer every 3 seconds. We'll hit create. Again, this is a pretty good mover and shaker. So we're moving at probably a couple bucks. I would say probably $7 or $8 a day. So I'm going to use the $3 one here, roll up every $3 and apply. So again, I'm just using the at the money options, letting this thing go. Again, if I want to use a different option, maybe I want to roll out, or I can always set this up to roll out in time if I get too close to expiration. But something like this would be very, very interesting. If you really want to give yourself more time, you just want to go out another expiration, go out to July 25s and play those, right? So again, I can get into this. It's going to get me into the best price based off of the mid or the bid ask spread. And then it's going to roll my options up every $3, right? So it's, again, let's just look at a quick preview on that. Here's my virtual position because I'm not in yet, but it gives me the ability to roll up 1 time, 2 times, and then I'm going to exit on the third. So $9. And we know if you were to pull up something like on the chart, the ATR, let me just do that for you real quick. Go to indicators, ATR, and this is moving, let's see, about $4 a day, right? So again, that's not bad. If I can get up that first roll on a $3, so if I'm getting that $3, that's going to be a nice little pop for us, and we can get a good roll in. Then we make the decision: do we want to stay in it, or do we want to basically get out of it the next day? All right. So again, just a quick idea there. Hopefully that helps some of your subscribers. And any questions on that, Will?
No questions have popped up. We did, and I don't know if George is asking for a link to the website. It's just OptionsRobot.com. I put it in. He was asking again how he gets the discount if you log in.
Yeah, once you register, it'll take you right to a subscribe page. And then you can, it'll show you, just click pro version. That's if you want to connect to the broker. And then you'll basically it's a coupon code. Just click Chameleon or type in Chameleon. That'll be your coupon code, and you'll get a 50% off.
All right. And that's Chameleon, like Market Chameleon, everybody.
Yeah, there you
go. Great job, Ryan. We are going to try to do this at least once a week, I think. Right, Ryan? We're going to try to.
Yeah, whatever. Let's see how it goes. And if people like it, then we can change it up. I mean, obviously, depending on what the market is doing and how active the market is, I think we can also get into different types of trade strategies. We can do condors or iron condors, and we can do some butterflies or some credit spreads, right? Or even some put trades, right? In terms of getting into different types of things, right? Maybe even let the subscribers look for or have positions that they want to look at. We can look at a couple of those and look for some ideas there.
Perfect. So if anyone wants to email me with any ideas for Ryan next week, WilliamMcBride@gmail.com. Ryan, great job, my friend. It's a very interesting product. Everyone seems to be amazed that this can be done on their behalf. So the more people that see it, the more helpful it'll be for everyone, I think. Everyone, thanks for joining. Ryan, any last words for the Chameleon community?
No, I think it's just beware of the earnings coming up. The couple things I think I see really is the tariff headline, CPI this week, PPI on Wednesday, CPI tomorrow, and then Michigan sentiment on Friday. So those are a couple things that I'm just kind of watching news-wise. But I think we're doing pretty good. I would definitely keep an eye on what's going on Bitcoin, right? If they pass any kind of positive legislation, I think that could really get going. So just a couple of other ideas on top of what we already talked about.
Yeah, this Bitcoin move has been incredible. We did have another question. Someone's asking, do I have to write Chameleon for the discount? I think what Ryan said,
type in Chameleon is like a coupon code.
There'll be a coupon code spot in there. Just type in Chameleon in that spot for the 50% discount. All right, Ryan. We'll see you next week, my friend. You have a great week of trading.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the links for all these ideas. So if anybody wants to click on them on the YouTube, they can click on it from there. And that'll give them just some insight into what exactly we talked about.
Yep. So everyone can go to the YouTube channel in the description. Ryan's going to send me those links. I will put them in the YouTube description so you can link to them right there. Thanks, Ryan. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Thank you very much, Will. Have a great night.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Thanks for seeing how OptionRobot worked out. It's a great product. Highly recommend everyone at least check it out. And we will look forward to seeing Ryan next week. Everyone have a great, safe trading day. Remember to like us and follow us on all the social platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up are always appreciated. Remember also, we have a morning show every morning where Dimitri goes through different Market Chameleon tools. That's at 9 a.m. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. You'll get alerted to it. Everyone have a great, safe evening and a safe trading day tomorrow. We'll see you in the morning. Bye.